Good morning all, and today we will be doing right against exploitation. It is part of the chapter the Constitution, and we have done the previous rights, right to freedom, right to equality, and today we will be doing right against exploitation. So right against exploitation come under Article 23 and 24 of our Constitution, of the Indian Constitution. When we say that India is the largest democracy in the world today, and if we look at the progress and development that India has achieved all this year, but we still have this kind of exploitation in India, and India has been a victim of slavery for centuries. Indian people were picked up and taken to different countries of the world as slaves during the British rule, and this slavery actually came to an end through in 1860s only, when the Indian Penal Code actually passed this law against the slavery. And why the framers of Indian Constitution had to put this is because this right against exploitation in our Constitution, because our Constitution actually guarantees to every citizen liberty and dignity. Hence, when we say that citizens will have liberty and they will have dignity, when we say these two things are going to be with the citizens, then there is no scope for anything like exploitation, buying and selling of children, men, women, or something like slavery or ill treatment. So this all is covered that right against exploitation. Article Rights Against Exploitation has got two provisions. First is prohibition of traffic in human being and forced labor. Second is prohibition of employment of children in hazardous jobs. So if we look at our country's history, there are so many people who are underprivileged, poor, deprived of. And these people are actually subjected to different kinds of exploitations by our country's citizens only. And one form is begar or forced labor. Means you are forced to do some work without any payment, and even if the payment is made, it is not appropriate. It is less than what the government expects you to pay. And it is also closely related to buying and selling of human beings and using them as slaves. Both of these are prohibited under the Constitution. If we look back, there is in our history there used to be zamindari system, or money lenders were there. Poor people used to take up money from these money lenders or zamindars, and if they were not able to pay back the money with the interest, or for some reasons they were not able to pay back to zamindar, they were actually they used to take their children and make their children work in the farms as slaves. So this all kind of things have been actually prohibited in our Constitution, and they are considered as crime, and if such things are practiced, then it is punishable by law of our country. So when we talk about exploitation, it is actually the misuse of services by force or labor without any payment. So these marginalized communities in India and people who are generally deprived of have to actually face this in India even after 70 years of our independence. So labor without the payment is known as begar, and such kind of begar is actually, if anyone practices this kind of forced labor and labor without the payment, it is a crime and it is punishable. So also there should be there should be no exploitation. No one can be forced to engage in labor against his or her will, even if you are offering to pay them money. So if I don't want to work if I don't want to do some work, even if somebody offers me money, then I will not, if I don't want to do the work, nobody can force me to do the work. There is also bonded labor. Bonded labor is when a person is forced to offer service out of a loan or debt that cannot be repaid. So this is a kind of a coercion, that if I am not able to repay my debt, then I have to give my services. This is wrong. This is the same example as in previous times. Zamindars used to make, or the money lenders used to take the children of the borrower as slaves and make them work in their own farms. The next way is trafficking. What is trafficking? Is buying and selling of men and women, and especially in case of women, buying of young girls by people for immoral purposes is absolutely illegal, even though Constitution does not mention that parents as term here. But if the parents also buy and sell their children, then also it is a crime and it is to be punished. It says that it is the duty of the state to actually protect its citizens against all these ill practices of begar, forced labor, human trafficking, buying and selling. Every day we see newspaper articles, magazines, we see so many reports. There are so many movies that have come up regarded to trafficking of human being, and especially because not just in flesh trade but also organs to buy and sell the human organs, kidney, liver, skin, hairs. For all these reasons, people buy and sell human being. This all is illegal. The second provision in right against exploitation is child labor. You can see in this visual children, very young children around 3 to 6 years or 7 years, 8 years children are working in construction sites. In our book NCERT on page number 37, we can see a small child working in a beedi making, a tobacco company, beedi making factory. In this photograph also we can see a child is holding such a big stone on her head. In the third picture you can see the children are working in textile industry in zari factories. So all this is exploitation of child, because in our country children have rights. So children have these rights. So right against exploitation also, the second provision says that no child below the age of 14 shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any hazardous jobs or employment. When we say that children are future of our country, our nation, it is the duty of the state to make sure that the future of the children is bright by providing food, education, health to children of the country, so that they can become strong, so that they can have good life when they grow up. And when they have good life, when they have a higher standard of living, it actually comes to the progress and development of the country only. So that is why the Constitution actually prohibits the children below 14 years to work in any kind of factories, mines, hazardous employments. Right? So children are the future of our country. They are the human resource, human capital of any country, and if they are not secured, if they are not protected, then there is the development of country, the growth of the country is jeopardized. It's not sure that the country will achieve development, because they have not invested in the children. So children also have rights. In so many landmark judgments of the court, if a child was put to work in a very hazardous activity and the state intervened right? That the why have you put the child whether in such a hazardous job. If the court intervenes, then there is a kind, along with punishment, there is a fine also that has to be paid in the child labor rehabilitation welfare funds. So these funds are created to help support the child who has been exploited. Now, if this is not the part of syllabus, but you need to understand that there are child rights, and every children have all the children have rights, and Indian Constitution supports the issue of child rights. There are many committees and commissions established across the country to look into the matter of child labor, because everywhere we look there are small children working in construction sites, at dhabas, at food joints. So many children are working as domestic helps. We see that. There are various NGOs also who work for the welfare of children. There are numerous rehabilitation centers that have been set up to give a new shape to life of children who have been terribly exploited because of this child labor. India also is a member of United Nations. That is why it supports the United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child. So under this only, India has set up National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, known as NCPCR. So this was established in year 2007 to protect the rights of the child. So both these topics may not be in our syllabus, and as for the syllabus of class 11, you just need to learn the two provisions and their work. But you should know this because you are a child and you are still 14 years and less, and you have those rights. That is why. Now, to conclude, since the genesis of civilization, stronger, rich, influential people, aristocracy, zamindars have actually exploited the weaker sections of the society, women, children, Dalits, scheduled caste people. So it's in such a scene, it was the need of the hour to protect the weaker section from any kind of exploitation, and the provision of equal opportunities in every field, because when the people will get equal opportunities, then only they will feel empowered. Moreover, child labor is a crime which is prevailing in our society, and we see it everywhere. It is happening, and this is obstacle in actually the development and growth of our country. Healthy children lead to the bright future of the country, and child labor, trafficking in human being, buying and selling of human being for organs, buying of women, selling of women for immoral purposes, all these are actually blemishing our democracy. Hence, the right against exploitation becomes so very important for us. The importance also comes because people who are poor, who are not even aware of their rights, are often exploited by others, and poverty, for example, force many people to, including children, to work many hours a day at very low wages, and this is very undemocratic, unhealthy condition, and it is not good. When we say India is a democratic country, we expect that there should be no exploitation in our society. There should be no forced labor. Children should have rights. There should be no bonded labor. That is why this right against exploitation is so very important for our basic civil liberties of the people, our basic freedoms of the people, our basic security as a human being is so very important, so that we can actually raise our voice. We have something as powerful as rights, these fundamental rights, to raise our voice against any oppressive practices so that the citizens can live a dignified life, a life of equality in our country.